Downtown is a community more than anything, and despite the challenges that our business owners face trying to stay alive, many jumped right in and started helping others. Laura Camp, owner of Studio on 6th Downtown and Simply Fair, has been conducting a chocolate bar drive called Chocolate Bars for Medical Heroes, aiming to give each healthcare worker in Memorial Medical Center and HSHS St. John's Hospital a high-quality, fair trade chocolate bar with a note of encouragement attached to each.
It was great when we received a whole slew of chocolate bars from a local business and were able to hand those out with those personalized notes for our colleagues. It really brought a smile to their faces.
Their goal is 10,000 bars sold and have sold 2,600 so far.
Julie, one of our artisans, she made 600 masks. So, every week she just brought in tons of masks and started to donate them as soon as she made them. Julie just really saw the need. I saw the need that we needed these masks, and I wanted Wild Rose to be part of the location where people could pick them up, nurses could pick them up. It's a central location right in downtown Springfield, so we thought it would be a great pickup and drop off for donations of even fabric or elastic. So at the end, a total of 600 masks, and they were donated to the big three medical centers here in Springfield, Springfield Clinic, Memorial, and St. John's.
We did receive donations of masks, and again, that was very helpful so that we could save our surgical masks and our N95 masks for our critical colleagues that were working directly with patients, and it allowed our other co-workers to wear cloth masks in areas of the hospital where that was allowed, so that was a big help.
We saw the need, and Julie just jumped on it, and I support her 100%.
As the pandemic began to take its toll on Springfield, Cafe Moxo decided to donate free meals on a first-come, first-served basis to anyone in need.
Well, we came up with the idea around the holidays. We thought it'd be a great give back. KB was located downtown until 2017. We haven't forgotten downtown. We have a lot of good memories about downtown. And Moxo was a place that we went to very frequently. What we learned is that the owner of Cafe Moxo has done this all the way through the pandemic with really, to tell you the truth, very little press. He's done it at his own expense, and just thought it was a way to keep his staff busy and also to keep, preparing foods, because obviously for a point in time he was closed down except for carryouts or whatever that may be. So I think he used that as a way to give back to the community, and he's been doing it periodically throughout the pandemic. I think we gave away about 540 meals. We opened up to this firm paid for 500 of it, and then the staff contributed for an additional 40 meals.
We were about a couple months into the pandemic, and I recall my husband's grandmother is at Concordia, and we would go visit, and we could just wave from the parking lot, and she'd stand on her balcony. And I just thought, these residents have to be missing, that they can't get out, they can't be with family. And so we decided to deliver some packages that were hair care products, and others were skin and nail care products. And we put them all together so they'd each receive a little package with some items that they would probably normally get if they went to the salon, or be used on them if they were able to go to the salon. So I contacted Jessica from Will and Birch right away when I had this idea, because I know how giving she's always been.
Abby reached out to me on Facebook and was just like, hey, I have this crazy idea. I want to know if you'd be on board for it. And she expressed she wanted to send care packages to Concordia. I'm like, I'm so here for this. And she worked to get sponsors, which ended up being Alara Caring and Home Instead. And so we worked together to keep the cost as low as possible. We packaged up everything.
Yeah, so as soon as Jessica was done, we contacted Concordia and scheduled a time. Unfortunately, no one could go in the building, so they came out and met us.
To think of these women who enjoy that weekly trip out to the even on-campus salon to get their hair done, or, weekly time with their friends and things like that. It's like they weren't having that. So I think to get a little bundle of joy, if you will, to allow them to kind of do some fun little things for themselves was a nice treat, and it was really a fun collaboration.
So the Adams family is a pretty close-knit group of businesses, some of which you don't hear about as much because they're a little more low-key, people like US Bank and Brown, Hay, and Stevens. So when the weather started to turn and we started talking about getting a tent, that's when Brown, Hay, and Stevens they stepped up and volunteered to pay for the cost of putting in the tent and turning the Adams Family Patio into the Adams Family Patio tent. When the tent went up, there was a big morale boost on the block. We were all excited about the possibility, but there was a lot of obstacles, the cost being one of them, to get through to get it up. So when everything finally got done and all the pieces were in place, it was a sigh of relief from the whole block. This year has been a struggle, and I want to say again thank you to Brown, Hay, and Stevens. I mean, I think it's worth mentioning that we didn't ask them to contribute. We discussed trying to possibly get sponsorships or sharing the cost among businesses, and they just stepped up and took that on, and we really appreciated it. Not just us, but the whole block. So thank you again to Brown, Hay, and Stevens.
Willow and Birch, downtown Springfield, when they were shut down at the early part of the COVID crisis, actually donated gloves to the hospital. And that just was a reflection on how great our community comes out to support healthcare organizations, and it was well received. My friends or coworkers and colleagues in the emergency department received some food from La Piazza, and it was very well received. It's good to have a hot meal when you're busy working in those stressful conditions, and it was really great to see the support for from our community.
You know, we honestly really tried to keep it very positive at work, especially for our patients, to make sure that they knew they were in safe hands at our hospital. So our physicians and nurses just did a really great job of supporting one another each day to make sure that our environment was positive. But certainly all of the treats and support from the community really helped.
When this whole COVID started, there was a lot of nervousness, and there still is. And when you're meeting something that you've never met before, it's very stressful. And to have the community support from our local businesses to help us to fill in those gaps that we weren't able to do, like maybe get a meal, like have extra gloves or have masks for all of our colleagues, is very helpful, and it helps everybody's mood and their morale. And we're very happy that we received that support from the community.
Downtown is a community, and it is an important part of the larger community of Springfield.